A backside pop shove it late under Varial double flip. Wait, did I say right? I know it's wordy, but technically, I think that's what it's called. Or should I call it 360 late under double flip? Unlike how it might look, the concept is simple. You should be able to do this trick if you can do two simple things. Pop and keep your back foot close to the ground. And flip the board with your back foot. In this video, we will analyze the physics of the board's movement and how to use the back foot, which is key to this trick. You're watching Why the Trick? Please subscribe. Before we get into the complicated physics, let's take a quick look at the steps of this trick. The back foot is placed in the pocket of the toe side of the tail, like in a trifle. And the front foot is behind the front bolt, like in a kickflip. You can place your feet however you want, but placing your front foot close helps you close your body too, making it easier to flip your board by simply lifting your back foot forward, which we will discuss in a minute. Keep your back foot low after popping the tail, and lift it when the nose comes around halfway and gets close to it. And the board flips when you manage to flick it with your back toe. Which is easier said than done, obviously. Let's dig deeper from a physical point of view. The key concept of this trick is in the axis of rotation. This may be a little complicated, but let me explain something. There are two types of axes in this 3D world we live in: the global axis and the local axis. The global axis is the axis that this space has, and it applies equally to all objects. In this example, we'll call the axis that connects the toe side and the heel side in red the x-axis. The axis parallel to the direction of travel in yellow, the y-axis. And the vertical axis in blue, the z-axis. The most obvious example is gravity. All objects are equally subjected to gravity and are pulled downward along the global z-axis. On the other hand, the local axis is the axis that each object has. Popping changes the angle of the board, but the concept of the local axis itself continues to apply. The direction of the board's ascent is along the global z-axis, and the direction of the rotation is around the local z-axis. In order to flip the board effectively, apply a vertical force to the local XY axis plane. Flick the backside of the board with your back toe, and the board flips in the kickflip direction around the local Y axis. Not surprisingly, this flick is the hardest part. If the part of the toe that hits the board is too big, you will push the y-axis itself, pushing the entire board away from you instead of flipping it. On the contrary, if the part of the toe that hits the board is too small, the board doesn't flip fast enough, and you will land either primo or on the board upside down. Similarly, if you lift your back foot too early, you won't be able to hit the board, and you'll wind up doing something like a failed version of tray flip. What's even worse, even if you time it right, if the angle at which you lift your back foot is too big, the board lifts too high and hits your feet, and the flip stops. In order to control the flip, it is essential to stay relaxed and move the back foot with the minimum force necessary. You might think you'd need a lot of force to flip the board twice, but in reality, not much force is needed. As evidence, you should be able to flip your board with very little force when you try it while standing on the ground. Plus, there is a way to lift your back foot effectively. By lowering your upper body after getting into the air, the opposite side of the body, which in this case is the toes, will lift in reaction. Use this concept and adjust how far you should lower your upper body, so the back toe can exert a perpendicular force to the local XY axis plane. The body orientation is also important. If it's open, the force of the back foot tends to go against the board's local z-axis rotation. So, if the board does not flip properly, pay attention to the angle of your body. And that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.